Hi everyone, and a very happy new year! Woo! I hope you've had a really good start to 2025. Please excuse my voice, I have a cold. I just wanted to kick things off by talking about what's coming up in 2025 for the Guild. It's not everything, it's just the stuff that we have confirmed. We'll start with something that you probably already know about. We're having a launch event on Friday the 7th of Feb. This is to celebrate the fact we are now a company and social enterprise and to celebrate our 4th birthday. I generally can't believe we have come this far. The thought of having 4 years drawing and making things for people is beyond my wildest dreams, and I am so incredibly grateful. So thank you so much for making that happen. I've made some invites and they just fold out and then the invite is inside. I'm going to be sending them out to patrons, but if you do want one, please let me know and I'd be happy to put one in the post for you. All the details are also online on our website. But yeah, they seem pretty cool. I've been sending them out to companies, organisations, friends, family, and they are pretty cute. So at the launch event, we're going to have a few things happening. It's at the most amazing location. It's Carrow House, which was, I believe, built and formerly lived in by the Coleman family, famous for their mustard. And we're going to have our greenhouses quest in their Victorian orangery, which is very exciting and very fancy. So yeah, you can come along and for free, you can experience the greenhouses quest in the most amazing setting. So there's going to be cartoon plants around, there'll be of course the idea seeds from the quest, our example printed big, and we'll be around to do it with you if you want. There'll also be free party bags, so make sure you RSVP if you can come and we'll make sure that we put together a party bag for you. There'll be refreshments, tea, coffee, snacks, and it's a chance to kind of see what we've been up to as well. We're going to put together these concertina board timeline of the Guild, so you'll be able to see everything we've done within the last 4 years. And it's also an opportunity to tell us what you want in the future as well. I'm going to put together a survey where you can tell us what you'd like to see next. The next big event that I can't believe I'm saying is we will be at UK Games Expo. I am so genuinely excited and astounded that they accepted our application. It's one of the biggest games conventions in the UK. It draws crowds of 37,000 people. We've really gone for it. We realised if we were going to go to UK Games Expo, we wanted to do it right, and we wanted to do it in a way that kind of tied in with what we're trying to accomplish in 2025, which is better immersion, creating more immersive, detailed experiences for people and products. So effectively our challenge this year is to create more ambitious builds, more ambitious products that make you feel like you're in a different world, that it feels like a fantasy guild. We've gone for a giant space at UK Games Expo. We applied for a 5 by 2 metre, which would be a 10 metre square space. They only had 2 spaces left when they got in touch with us, so I was incredibly grateful that they, gave us that choice. And so we went for the 3 by 4, so it's a 12 metre squared space. And financially, it's the biggest risk we've ever taken, but I think we all think it's worth it. I mean, ironically, I set up the company and we have 3 amazing directors and me. And so when we had our first board meeting, I was hesitant to do this, but I was outvoted by everyone else. So a little bit ironic, but I think they're right. We need to take financial risks. We need to do something big. And the bit I'm excited about is creating an immersive space. And it's going to be, we're calling it at the moment the post office, but effectively it's going to be a kind of a vintage feeling fantasy post office where you come and collect and purchase your quests. I'm very excited. I'll put some inspiration that we've been collecting here It's really going to be hopefully an experience. So yeah, hopefully it's going to feel like a proper post office. We're going to have some sort of uniform, and I've put together, it's taken me forever to figure out the space design, because I wanted it to be wheelchair accessible, a space where it kind of flows nicely in case lots of people come, hopefully, but also we don't want too many people so it doesn't feel too crowded. So it's been a balance between presenting our products, making an immersive post office, but also providing a space that's hopefully comfortable when you come. So we've settled on this for now. It's to scale, and I can't remember what scale it is, but effectively I'll put a better picture here of it. It was also important that the people working at our booth were comfortable, so I've tried to make a little staff room, so if it gets too overwhelming they can go there. I've also hopefully going to have a bench there, so if you're tired at UK Games Expo and you just want somewhere to sit, there'll hopefully be a bench. I'm going to be purchasing some ear defenders because I don't know about you, but I'm not massively good at crowds, and I'm definitely not good at them for a long period of time. So those ear defenders are going to be universal. Our lovely staff members will use them, but also they'll be available if you just want to come along, put them on. You are more than welcome. So yeah, that is our biggest event ever, and definitely the biggest event for 2025. If you can't make it to UK Games Expo, we're doing a smaller scaled version, like a scaled down version for Norwich Games Festival. I haven't got the exact date for you just yet, but it is actually the same week as UK Games Expo. Now on to products. I'm going to be honest, I struggled to think of a quest after I finished them back in March, April. I hadn't thought of a quest since then, and I started to panic that I had run out of ideas, that was it, that I couldn't make any more products like that. Turns out I was just tired, I was burnt out, and I should have taken a break. That is the lesson I have learned. I took 2 weeks for Christmas and New Year, the festive season, and it did wonders. It did absolute wonders to how I felt. I hadn't realised quite how stressed and anxious and burnt out I was, because it was such a slow decline. It just became like, you know, when you get somewhere it just feels like the norm. So I was down here and for me it felt normal. But 2 weeks helped, I'm back on it, and the amount of ideas I've had for products and quests is a relief. And very exciting because I really want to make new stuff for you. And I did a survey on our Instagram and you all want quests too, so I'm so grateful they came to me. I'm just going to talk about them loosely, like the products, but hopefully it gives you a flavour of what's to come. So the first thing is kind of a new collection of world building products that are more of an in-depth dive into specific themes. I'm aware that sounds really vague, but effectively I'm calling them field guides at the moment, but myself and Ben have been doing a lot more walking and a lot more travelling, and I realised quite a large part of our D&D campaigns, and I think potentially, and when I say D&D I mean Dungeons and Dragons, so a large part of our Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and I think quite a lot of other people's, is that time travelling. And I thought it would be good to find a way to help people add flavour to those travel times, not necessarily just for Dungeons and Dragons, other role-playing games, and just world building in general. So creating kind of more smaller details within your world that really help enrich it. Those field guides will provide a structure to help you create your own things under that theme, but there's also going to be a lot more in-depth examples that you can add to your storytelling, your drawings, your games, your imaginary worlds. Hopefully that makes sense. If that sounds like something you want, let me know. If not, that's also fine. Please let me know that too, because I don't want to create something that only I'm excited about. Well, I could do in my own time, but equally I want to make sure I make stuff for you. So the themes I've thought of so far are birds, plants, weather, and outposts, so remote locations that are potentially like places of business. I've also finally thought of a quest. I don't know why it's taken me so long to think of this one because it feels like an obvious one, but I want to create like an OG style quest about magic users. So witches, wizards, sorcerers, alchemists, any sort of character that uses or harnesses magic in some way, because that sounds fun. It's actually inspired by this kind of list of fantasy jobs post I saw. I'll just put it here. I didn't think some of them were fantasy, they seemed like actual jobs, but the one that interested me was Curse Breaker. I think I want to take that and do something with it at some point, just personally draw something. What I'll do actually is, for Patreon, I'll set up a poll and hopefully you guys can vote on what you want to see next, whether it's a field guide or this OG quest. And the other product are postcard sized quests, and effectively they're kind of like the opposite to field guides. They're going to be like really quick, simple world building activities quests. So it'll kind of go like, because we've got the mini quests which are really good for beginners and young people. Adults can do them too, but I think they really appeal to like younger people. But what I want to do is kind of postcard quests that are good if you have like a limited amount of time and they're just like a nice little taster, and then you got the quests that are a little bit more ambitious and require a bit more time, and then the field guides that are really kind of for people who are building detailed worlds or want a bit more of a challenge. So I think that's everything on the products front at the moment. We are of course applying for funding for projects, but because we haven't heard back I don't want to talk about them, mostly because I don't want to jinx it or get excited about something that might not happen. But we'll keep writing funding applications, we'll keep hopefully moving forward with collaborations, and we should have some more in-person stuff that hopefully leads to new products as well. And finally, in all honesty, vlogging does not suit me. We tried it last year, we gave it a good go I think. I definitely tried my best, but I am terrible at talking about myself or explaining what I'm doing day to day. It just doesn't suit me. I can't seem to get into the flow of it. I just clam up, I don't feel confident, and then I don't like looking back over the footage. So I don't think we'll be making vlogs in the future. I feel good about that though. It just wasn't the right format for me. It didn't make me feel great. But I think it's worth using that time for something more exciting, or something that makes me feel more excited, which is drawing. I'm trying to put more time aside this year for drawing because I started the shortening my creative process. So rather than getting excited and drawing and then figuring out how to package that excitement in a quest and share it with you, I was just doing these two steps, and it meant I felt like things were they were coming to a halt. Like I wasn't thinking of new ideas, everything was starting to feel a bit stale, a bit worn out, and I want to put out the best quality stuff I possibly can for you guys, and so I need to put more time aside for rest, but also for drawing. So I'm going to try and have monthly drawing days, and I really hope that at some point I can share those in a video. Attached to this, there's also going to be less social media or less interaction on social media because I deleted it before my break, and so I've had 2 weeks without it. It's been marvellous. I have felt so much better. I'm not sure social media suits me. It makes me feel terrible. I end up comparing myself to people and putting myself down, and my confidence and stuff dwindles. My doubts shoot up, and it's really hard to feel creative and focused when that's happening. I'm trying to keep those boundaries in place, even though we obviously need to post a little bit because it's how we communicate, and there are perks to it. Like it's nice to tell you all when events are and for you to be able to book onto them and to share things, but I'm really just going to focus on things I want to talk about. It's going to be less content but more content that I want to make, so hopefully it's better. So before we wrap up this video, I just wanted to share a few things that I've really enjoyed recently. First of all, it's these. I finally bought myself some noise cancelling headphones. These ones are AirPod Maxes, I think. I'm a fiend for Apple products. I just love them. They just feel really good. And these are a lifesaver. I've put off buying these for a very long time, mostly because they're expensive. And I shouldn't have done, because they make such a difference. Because they are noise cancelling. So I feel very at peace in here. What's amazing is you can change it too, so you can have kind of noise, you can let noise in effectively, which is called transparency, and then you can turn it off completely, but it's quite nice. So transparency allows people to talk to you close by, but it kind of blocks other things. They're very clever, and they have been a game changer for me. I'm pretty sensitive to noise. I realise because I try and get out of the house and do some work, especially when Ben's climbing. I'll go and work in the climbing cafe, and I do get a lot done. It's very nice to have a new environment and somewhere where I'm not too comfortable, so I'm really focused. But these really help because it blocks out noise, and I do feel more comfortable in public. Like a lot more comfortable in public. Like the other day, usually if I have to go out, particularly when I have to go out on my own, I'll just do what's necessary, and I'll be very strict with my time and my schedule. But I walked into town the other day because I needed to get a few things. No, I didn't, that's a lie. I walked into town the other day because I thought it'd be good to read my book in a cafe to get a bit of like social interaction, even though I didn't really talk to anyone. And on the way back, usually I just kind of like bolt it home, but I was like, oh, I might go into a charity shop. And I went into a couple of charity shops, and I felt so relaxed, so comfortable. And because I wasn't using my energy to just kind of cope with noises, I had more energy to do stuff. So when I first had these, I had them on all day, and I noticed by the end of the day I still had loads of energy. I was like, oh, I'm like wired, because usually I'm like tired of noises by the time it's like night time, but I had so much energy left. So yeah, these help with all sorts. So if you are sensitive to noises or find social interactions or public interactions difficult, these are a wonder, but they do get a bit addictive, which is why I'm going to take them off now. Oh, I tell you what though, it's a bit of an adjustment when you do take them off. The other thing that I wanted to share, which is no surprise, Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Fowl was phenomenal. Like, I knew it was going to be good, but it was an absolute masterpiece from start to finish. I don't want to spoil anything, but it was such a beautiful piece of storytelling. I hugely recommend watching it if you can. Something else that came out of that is, of course, there's been a lot of like documentaries and interviews with the creators, particularly Nick Park, and he was joined by someone else who kind of co-directed it with him, or co-wrote it with him. It's terrible, I don't know his name. Anyway, they do a lot of interviews together, and I noticed like Nick Park's very, I don't know, I think Nick Park seems a bit uncomfortable talking about things, which is absolutely fine. Like, it was actually really nice to see, because it made me feel better, because I get deeply uncomfortable talking about things I make, and so it was very refreshing to see somebody so incredible at storytelling find it difficult or find it uncomfortable to talk about it, because we can't be good at everything. There's no way one person can absolutely smash everything. So it was a refreshing thing to see somebody be so successful with their storytelling but still be uncomfortable talking about it. And he strikes me as very introverted and very intelligent. In fact, I think he's Gromit, to be honest, and I think he'll be much more comfortable just making stories. And when you see him interacting with staff and kind of working on the film, those bits of footage, he lights up. He's so confident, he's so focused, he's so passionate, and it's just nice to see that we don't have to be good at all of it, because I think there's an expectation, especially now, that we share everything online. And it's not something I like. So I feel better now I've seen Nick Park, and I'm going to try and do it more my way this year. Me and Ben have been playing Untitled Goose Game, which is so fun. It's absolutely hilarious. I really enjoy it. So that's a good fun thing if you want to do some silly shenanigans to residents of a village as a goose. And there's co-op, so you can play together. So yeah, really enjoy that. I enjoy honking, flapping my wings, running around. It's just silly. So that's something else I wanted to share. Finally, I want to share with you my latest fascination. It actually comes from a Facebook post I saw about a month ago that I'm still thinking about today. It was a compilation of cartoon cakes from various different cartoons, and it was fascinating because there's something amazing about how a way of storytelling or a language or a discipline like animation can then create micro languages or micro cultures of things, because all of these cakes had similarities, and it was so interesting that that kind of has evolved over time, so that cartoon cakes have a very specific look and feel. They are often round, have usually pink icing, and often it's kind of dripping. None of them feel very professional or shop bought, and I think that's important. I think cartoon cakes have to feel like there is love and care in them. They feel like the characters themselves have made them, and it has this kind of charm and kind of whimsy that makes you realise that this cake has been made with love. And it's fascinating that rather than these kind of like Instagram worthy cakes that we see online, that cartoon cakes communicate this by being wonky. Of course, this is all just my opinion. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments, and if you have any suggestions for other cartoon cakes I could look at. But yes, that is my latest obsession, cartoon cakes, and I love looking at them, and I hope you have a look too and let me know your thoughts. Thanks very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. As always, if you want to leave your thoughts down in the comments, or message us or email us, or however you want to do it, we always love to hear from you, and I should be back with another update like this at some point. I kind of like this format. I like telling you things like this. It feels a bit more authentic than typing it. So yes, thanks very much. I hope you have a good January and take care. Bye.